Well, I wasn't going to say any more about COVID because I think everyone has actually heard a lot about COVID, and I'm sure people are almost brainwashed with it and sick to death of it. However, as we know, was really reducing quite significantly, and in our practice we're not really getting any patients apparently with it. We've not really for the last month or so, perhaps a bit longer than that. But now indeed we are getting quite a few of you ringing up with symptoms very consistent with coronavirus. That's really in the last week or so. And so I think it's probably almost useful for us to really look at it again. And I know we've started to relax, all of us, me included, our approach to coronavirus, but actually I think we need to just ramp it up again. You know, the last thing we want is another lockdown, but if we carry on at the rate we're going, a sudden increase in cases, then I think clearly that's inevitable. I think a lot of this is, obviously the government tries to help us on this, but at the end of the day, it is down to us. We know how to try and control it. This is a virus, as I said before, it's not a magical thing. Once we understand how, we know how it transmits, we know the ways to reduce that transmission. Now, the way it is at the moment, I'm not confident about not getting it, but because it's increasing, it seems to be increasing quite rapidly. I'm going to increase my efforts and alertness to coronavirus, certainly while it seems to be quite prevalent in the area. Hopefully that way it means the government's not going to have to end up locking us down again. I mean, things like the rule of 6, you know, it's a basic principle. If you can avoid 6, go to 2. You know, if you 6 of you, keep your separation as much as you can. It doesn't mean obviously it doesn't mean just because there's 6 of you it's okay to all, you know, shake hands or whatever. I'm sure we're all abiding by those rules. It makes sense, but this is it. I mean, the government's giving guidelines, but it is down to us to sort of, obviously, as we know, to try and make the most of it. So the sort of things I'm doing at the moment is I'm doubling up on my mask. We've just done a flu clinic this morning. We've processed 100 patients. I'm wearing 2 masks. I'm sealing, making sure I'm sealing now around the face. Obviously gowns, gloves, hopefully goggles. And also we have good ventilation. We have everything open. We're processing patients quickly, and we're going to continue to do that. And also, so everybody who, you know, is entitled to the vaccine, ring the surgery, check with us. We will get you booked in. It's mainly affecting the young population, so it's a bit deceptive. Although we're not seeing any deaths at the moment or any really ill people, it's only just starting to really increase in the area. So unfortunately, you know, it's common sense that it is going to increase. So there's a couple of things I was just going to say that isn't emphasised. Go to the toilet and make sure they put the lid down on the toilet before they flush. Really important. We know coronavirus is a fetal oral route, so as well as the coughing, as well as the talking, as well as the spray, you get the spray from the toilet. Not a very nice thing to talk about, but you do. When you flush the toilet, the toilets are not suction toilets like in an airplane. Your spray's going to come out. If you put the lid down before you flush the chain, you're really going to reduce the risk if you are going to eat outside, or obviously inside the restaurant, but if you're eating outside, look at where the wind's blowing. There's always a prevailing wind. I know people, when they're walking past people in the street, if someone coughs, you know, you're holding your breath, brilliant, you know, walk around them on the pavement, all these things. Most of us work lots of these things out, but there's a couple of things there which I don't think people are particularly thinking about, but will make a big difference. Same at home, you know, close the lid before you flush the toilet. Anyone at home getting coronavirus, remember the old isolation principle. Again, I can't hear it being emphasised by the government, so go back to it. Keep that person in a single room if you can, you know, as much isolation as you can for the time that they're infected. At the beginning of the year, remember, I had one hive with really 4 to 5 frames on it. So over the year, what I've done is I've expanded out. We now have 8 hives. There's 3 here. Not going to get much honey this year, if any, but then I did expect that. So what I'm doing is just expanding out to 8 hives. Next year I'll stay probably about 8 hives, and then the honey will start to come in these top supers. At the moment, what I've been doing is the brood is in this section here. Some of it's large brood, some of it's single brood. This particular favourite hive here, all very docile bees. But having said that, is partly is because I feed them, hand feed them, we're getting to them regularly, so they're quite used to the noise of me, the smell of me, etc. And I've also still got an amazing wasp nest in the greenhouse. The bumblebee hive just moved on, which was in the lawnmower, so I can finally use the lawnmower. But I'm not sure what to do about wasp nest. If you leave it, it's fine, it'll just die down over into the winter period. You don't need to do anything about wasp nests really. The only problem is there's quite a lot of wasps with pestering the bees, and with them being strong, we're okay. We're trying to get the honey from the bees, but I'm not really sure. I think I'll probably just leave the wasp nest in the greenhouse for it to just go down gently. It's just when you're using any instrument in there, there's a motorway of wasps shooting past you, but hey ho, live and let live, as they say. They're not really interested in doing anything to me, as wasps aren't usually. Well, they are if you leave them alone. They're not looking for trouble. Having said that, they will have a look around you, and they'll even stand if a wasp settles on you. It's just looking around. It's not settling on you to sting you. The trouble is, if it gets caught in your clothes, same with a bee, it gets caught in your clothes. What can it do? It's probably going to sting you, but there's no need to fear them as they're just floating around, in the air. Especially if you're in a restaurant outside, and they're coming and nibbling some of the waste food that you've got left on your plate. They're using it to take back to their young. Obviously, I can understand people finding that a bit disconcerting. All right, so main message today really is we've got the flu vaccines, the ordinary flu vaccines, not coronavirus vaccines. Book yourself in, run appointments. Check that you need one or to have one, and then book yourself in. If you're not in the group that's entitled to flu vaccine, I do recommend you probably try and get one from chemist or somewhere else. Do a couple of YouTubes. I'm going to do a couple on the bees over the next week or so. I'm going to go into the bees, show you where they're up to. I'm going to maybe have a look at the wasp nest, see if we can dissect it out a little bit. I don't know. We'll see how we get on with that one. And I want to also do a little bit on the human body. I mean, I've spent my life fascinated with the human body. I was thinking of using a model or someone. Obviously you can't with coronavirus, so I might actually use my own body to demonstrate a few things like your vasculature and skin issues, nail issues, simple stuff like that. But those are ones to come.